Hey guys, Addict Cyclist here with another review. My buddy of mine was kind enough to lend me his Canyon Aeroad CFSL. You know, when you ride with the fast guys, you have access to some of the fast bikes. So pretty stoked about this. So I'm just gonna run over the components really quick. Basically completely bone stock other than a Stages power meter and the changing of the physique. Looks like the Aeroad R1 versus Evo. But just real quick, starting from the front to back, just so you can see how the bike is spec'd, and then we're going to go into something very important, which is the sizing on Canyon. So real quick, the bike is spec'd with the Reynolds AR58 wheels. These are absolutely stunning wheels. Great wheel to spec the bike with at this entry point, this price point. Got the Ultegra R 8000 group set. It's got the Canyon integrated bars and stem. This is a size 56, so we're talking about 100 mil stem and a 42 centimeter width bar. Just coming out to the back here, you got Ultegra R8000 mechanical rear mech. You have an Ultegra 1125 cassette. Since where we ride is pretty flat and we're going pretty fast, our group rides average anywhere between 25 and 27 miles an hour. And yeah, this bike is great. I mean, you know, listen, I'm not going to go into depth about the bike. There's plenty of videos since this bike is a couple years old now, this frame design. I know they came out with a new version, but one of the things that I wanted to touch on, which was pretty important. So my buddy and I, we bike swapped. You know, went to go take his bike out. We were basically the same height. I'm, you know, 5'9". He's about 5'9" as well. And when I got on this thing, standing over it, literally the top tube was in my crotch. I mean, literally you can feel it right there. So coming from my 54 Scott or my 54 Cannondale, you know, even my 56 LAs, I didn't feel that that feeling. And when I got on it, I was pretty stretched out. So this does, again, it's a 56 frame. Canyon's calling it a medium. You know, if I were to consider this bike, it would have to be in the size small. Just because, again, this bike just feels kind of stretched out and feels really tall when you're on it. It's, again, for me, my inseam is 30 and a half. My friend's, who's the same height, is about a little over 31. So that half an inch makes a big difference on how you feel on this bike. You know, so something to consider. So yeah, all right, so if you're gonna go with the 52 or the size small, you're gonna have to, you know, consider what the stack height is and the head tube height. But you know, for me, I would be way more comfortable riding a size small, you know, in this frame. So yeah, one other thing to touch too is that I also rode his Canyon Lux mountain bike in a size medium, and again, you know, it felt just like a big bike. It was definitely more stretched out compared to my medium Specialized Epic. So, you know, just be very mindful of when you're ordering a Canyon. You know, be really specific in terms of not just the bike and compared to what you would normally ride, but pay attention to your body and your own dimensions. You know, like I said, half an inch on the inseam makes a big difference on how you fit on this Aeroad. So if you have any questions, definitely leave them in the comments. I'll be sure to get back to you. And for any feedback or questions that I can't answer, I'll definitely, you know, answer, you know, get my friend to answer here. So again, just wanted to bring just something to the table, you know, in terms of sizing. You know, when you're dealing with the online bike companies or direct to consumer, you know, you can't just get on it and go for a spin around the block, right? You're kind of really relying on the website, you know, and some reviews and some maybe some friends that have it and have some feedback, and hopefully you can try to get on their frame. My friend got on the next size down, and it was small. He can fit on it, maybe requiring a longer bar stem combo, but even at, you know, 5'9", you know, this 100 mil stem still seems a little on the long side. So, you know, he's thinking about maybe going with a 90 mil a combo integrated setup here. So again, I'm just going to kind of give you a couple angles of this beautiful bike. It's a beautiful paint job. I mean, the bike for the money, I don't think you can find a better bike for the money and the value. You know, there are some other brands coming to the table here with some of the high-end niche builds, you know, but for that entry point, I think this frame retail, I think this whole bike, complete bike, retailed between 32 and I think 3,500 bucks. So I mean, you're getting a hell of a bargain. You know, hell of a bargain. And I know people complain, or the bike shops complain about, oh, you know, you're cutting out the shop. You know, unfortunately it's true, but you know, if you got on a budget and you're pretty mechanically inclined, you know, you can easily get yourself set up here. I think from out of the box to being able to pedal this bike is less than 45 minutes. So it does come pretty complete for you to be able to jump on here. So just do a couple angles here. Look at these killer wheels as the sun's hitting it. Some different angles of the head tube, integrated bars. It's a stunning bike. And rim brake is not dead. I don't care what anyone says. I know these bike manufacturers are speccing disc, and some of these high-end manufacturers are getting the disc weights, you know, down to the UCI, you know, limits here. But this bike is very nimble, very snappy. Coming from a Cannondale System 6, you know, my bike holds speed very well. You know, I don't have a lot of time on this bike to compare, but this bike definitely feels like it's a little bit more responsive, just because of the lightness and the snappiness of it. So. This is one of the first bikes to also incorporate the direct mount brakes. So although rim brake, it does offer some pretty good bite, especially with these Reynolds wheels with the resin glass brake track. These wheels stop phenomenal compared to some of the other ones out in the market, considering I had a pair of Reynolds AR41s, I've ridden the Roval CLX 64s, some giant wheels, and they're all pretty shitty when it comes to braking, but these things brake phenomenally, considering again they're still rim brake. So just a couple more angles. Like I said, if you have any other questions, please leave them in the comments. Please like and subscribe. I told you this bike was coming. Again, I'm not going into depth about the bike itself. There's plenty of videos about that, but again, I just wanted to share my experience and some considerations that you might want to make if you are looking to buy this bike online. And consider your own measurements, and not just, you know, the size that which you've been riding to compare to. So a great website too to be using is Geometry Geeks. You can load your bikes frames in their relative sizes, and we'll do a great comparison for you, so you know exactly what you might be buying if you're doing these direct to consumer brands. So again, appreciate the viewing. Please like and subscribe, and oh well, be well. Thank you.